Welcome back to Respoiled. Today, I have another captivating story to share with you. But before we dive in, if you're new here, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications, so you'll never miss out on all of my latest uploads. Now let's get started. Awakening in a strange room, a young man has no memory of his abduction or how he got there. He scans the room, finding only a shower and a toilet, then starts banging on the wall, pleading to be released. Suddenly, he notices a monitor displaying the word, share. He attempts various commands in hopes of opening a door, but none succeed. When prompted again, he confirms the share command. Now recording, he bombards the camera with questions, seeking clarity, but receives no response. After using the toilet, he discovers it lacks water, and the sink is also non-functional, prompting him to attempt interaction with the computer. When he inputs water, the computer responds with a value of 5, leaving him puzzled. He reclines on the floor, and unexpectedly, a fart earns him points, granting access to water. After refreshing his face, he grasps that this is a live broadcast and real viewers are watching. Consequently, he performs absurd movements and farts to earn points, albeit with limited success. Experimenting with the computer, he successfully extinguishes the lights, opting to rest on the floor. Later, prompted to share again, he vents about his predicament before taking a shower. Some points trickle in as he resumes his antics, but he tumbles to the floor, eliciting groans of pain that surprisingly accelerate the point accumulation. Regrettably, it's still insufficient, so when he requests food, all he receives is a bowl of dog food from a concealed hatch. Despite his complaints and failed attempts to return it, he reluctantly consumes the food, even adopting dog-like behavior for the audience's entertainment, including barking and panting. This garners more viewers and donations, enabling him to procure clothing. However, the points accumulated are still insufficient, and they send him women's underwear, which he models for the audience. That evening, he lays on the floor, shedding tears of despair before falling asleep. The following day, he endeavors to entertain the viewers with silly dances and spontaneous remarks. Gradually, he amasses enough points to purchase a t-shirt and an inflatable mattress. With each passing day, the points continue to accumulate, enabling him to acquire better items such as additional clothing, grooming supplies, a mirror, better food, and even alcohol. Despite being a vegetarian, he receives only meat, leaving him no choice but to consume it. Ultimately, he develops a fondness for his situation, and the audience responds by awarding him more points. One day, he indulges in excess alcohol and attempts to smash the monitor with an empty bottle, resulting in a power outage in his room. Despite trying various methods, including pulling at the monitor and food hatch, nothing budges. Frustrated, he punches the screen, injuring his hand, and then succumbs to despair, throwing a tantrum and pleading for release while discarding his few possessions. As his energy wanes, he begins apologizing, and it is only when he starts coughing that the power is restored. Abruptly, the screen displays an older man occupying a similar room, albeit with more belongings. He mentions occasional glitches in the system and how, upon reaching a certain level, individuals can access the common network. This enables communication with others in the same predicament. However, none of them have any knowledge about their captors. They all found themselves here without understanding the circumstances behind their arrival. Now the main guy has companionship. The older man incessantly talks, flitting from one topic to another, earning numerous points with his endless monologues. The main guy grows increasingly irritated by his chatter. One day, he hears the older man coughing severely. Figuring out the commands, he discovers other channels. These channels offer diverse content: cooking tutorials, makeup advice, and a captivating woman practicing yoga, whom the main guy can't help but admire for a while. After much trial and error, the guy successfully connects with the older man, realizing they each have a channel number, 14 and 73, respectively. Number 14 changes his attitude, befriends 73, engages in frequent chats, shares meals, learns magic, and sings together. Later, 14 contacts 28, the woman who practices yoga at night. Admiring her beauty and sense of peace, he sends her a donation. The next morning, 14 begins to purchase nicer things for his room while continuing to chat with 73, who explains the importance of not staying at one level to maintain viewer interest and receive donations. They must continually enhance their content to captivate the audience. From that point on, 14 explores various activities, including stand-up comedy, exercising, cooking, singing, and performing the magic tricks learned from 73. His audience and points keep increasing, enabling him to acquire more items for his streams. He follows 28's yoga tutorials and attempts to purchase medicine for 73, who suffers from constant coughing. However, he makes a typo and ends up watching the room of 11, a woman who has recently arrived and is currently showering. 11 panics when 14 appears on her screen, accusing him of being the kidnapper, but 14 quickly explains the situation. Once she calms down, 11 suggests establishing cohabitation rules. At that moment, 73 joins the conversation, and 11 asks both men if anyone ever attempted to escape. 14 shares his experience of attacking the monitor and its consequences. Despite this, 11 believes they should analyze all available information to find a vulnerability in the system. However, 73 accuses her of being condescending and angrily leaves the conversation. Perplexed, 11 questions why they were chosen, finding it odd that a company would provide housing and sustenance to strangers. 14 confesses he wasn't significant before and acknowledges that this life holds more value for him because he feels appreciated by someone. Later, he initiates a puppet show using socks, which entertains 73 and garners numerous donations. On a whim, 14 attempts to gift 11 a shower curtain, which offends her as she desires independence, not pity. In the following days, 14 entertains the audience with drawing tutorials, turning them into comedic sketches where he humorously portrays himself as the model. 14's unconventional ideas earn him numerous points, allowing him to enhance his living space continuously. However, 11 becomes intolerant of these changes and advocates for a revolution. This sparks a heated debate among the trio, which only subsides when 73's coughing becomes too severe to continue. That night, 73 experiences a particularly intense coughing fit, resulting in a small seizure that causes him to collapse against the monitor, rendering him immobile due to his weakened state. 14 implores his audience for assistance, while 11 attempts to navigate the computer menu in search of helpful options, inadvertently pressing the wrong button in the process. Without warning, 73's room begins to heat up, and soon flames engulf the walls, consuming every object and 73 himself. Helpless, his friends witness his agonizing demise before his camera shuts off. Following a period of solemn reflection, 14 reaches out to 11, urging her not to hold herself accountable. Despite her reluctance to engage, 14 attempts to lighten the mood with one of his puppet shows, prompting 11 to express a desire to drown her sorrows. Both 14 and 11 order copious amounts of alcohol and commence drinking, feigning dance moves together. They exchange memories of their lives before the abduction, their playful dancing escalating, leading to the shedding of clothes. Discovering their mutual attraction, they decide to reveal more skin, using their hands to explore each other intimately. After their encounter, they realize it hasn't alleviated their sorrow. 14 confesses he still hears 73's voice and, echoing 73's approach, begins to rant about their predicament. Agreeing with 11's earlier suggestion, they conclude that all bloggers must unite to uncover a vulnerability in the system, citing 73's demise as evidence of potential errors. Seated before the camera, 14 delivers a heartfelt speech, reluctantly earning more points, which he claims not to desire. He expresses the significance of 73 in his life, urging fellow bloggers to scrutinize every detail for potential escape clues. Abruptly, 28 reaches out to 14, praising his speech and likening it to her philosophical discourses on inner circles. 11, frustrated by the metaphorical approach, confronts 28, prompting her departure from the conversation. Subsequently, 14 and 11 browse other channels, pleased to find bloggers participating in their initiative. For instance, a woman has devised a method to simulate rain inside her room. Later that night, as 28 prepares for her yoga stream, 14 initiates a conversation with her. 28 remarks that 11's negativity is overwhelming and could lead to madness, advocating for a positive outlook. She praises 14 for his ability to bring smiles to people's faces, considering it highly valuable in today's society. Subsequently, they engage in yoga together, prompting an early awakening for the annoyed 11. Sometime later, 14 checks on 11, who remains engrossed in watching the other channels. As time goes by, more people support their plan and uncover interesting abilities, such as controlling the ventilation system or shifting walls. 11 is keen to map out the area and dismantle it, yet 14's enthusiasm has waned. Influenced by 28's perspective, he believes their actions hold significance and advises 11 against fueling anger among content residents. Disregarding his advice, 11 rebels by cutting her hair. Later that night, 28 begins her yoga stream, prompting an annoyed 11 to remind her of the cohabitation rules. She finds night streams inconsiderate as they disrupt others' sleep. This sparks an argument where 28 accuses 11 of treating fellow bloggers like puppets. 14 intervenes to halt the conflict, and 11 emphasizes that 28 isn't his friend, but she is. Witnessing a new arrival, 14 begins to understand 11's perspective and initiates a stream, urging fellow bloggers to send the newcomer 1 point. A glitch occurs, causing his points to rapidly increase, prompting 28 to label him toxic and a thief. Enraged, 11 makes it rain inside 28's room, leading to a confrontation where 28 mentions the need to feel the warmth of their light. The walls heat up, and soon, 11 suffers the fate that befell 73 before the screen shuts off. Devastated, 14 collapses and experiences a breakdown. Suddenly, a door opens behind him. He attempts to escape but notices his screen turning on again, prompting him to return and emphasize the power of collaboration to the other bloggers. However, the door closes, and now 14 must resume his performance. Don't forget to like, subscribe and enable notifications for more content like this. Thank you for watching.